Hey, this is Notser, and we're taking a look at the Tier 10 Premium Clan Reward Soviet Cruiser, Stalingrad, on the map Trap. For my build, main armament protection, extended radar duration, improved gun accuracy, faster rate of shift times 2, better rate of fire on the main battery. For my commander, priority target, expert marksman, superintendent, demolition expert, and concealment. It's my Moskva commander. Not very impressive because I'm not really into playing the Moskva. It's not my jam. Maybe it would be in the future, but as it stands right now, not very impressive commander. So the version that we're testing, I think it's like version 5 or version 6. I lost count. There's been so many different variants and releases of this ship in particular. I don't envy wargaming. Is it powerful? Absolutely. This is probably the most powerful version, and that's kind of hilarious when you consider the different versions. 32mm bow and stern, super high gun velocity AP, HE and AP that have Kronstadt level of accuracy. This just ended up being too much of everything. And I'm going to hopefully show you different scenarios, in particular, where it's just outstanding. And we do take a battleship citadel from super long range near A point. Hate you, battleships. I hate you. But enemy Dmitry Donskoy, he's slowing down. I should have drawn in the shot. The nice thing about Soviet cruisers, very high gun velocity, so the maneuvering of the enemy is less effective. There's less time for maneuvering, and that's very dangerous. It's very compelling. Something like this ship, something like Moskva, very effective at engaging DDs at extended ranges, 12, 13, 14 kilometers. Most cruisers can't do that. Most battleships can't do that. But these high gun velocity Soviet cruisers absolutely can. And it still does a ton of damage, right? Just absolutely insane. Enemy Richelieu, he's bow on. He's trying to tank damage. I unload my AP. Checking behind me because I don't want any Yamato getting some cheeky shot on me. Unload my AP, and I'm going to switch to HE. The HE on this ship, 33% fire. Moskva only has 19 base. 33% is battleship levels of fire. And this is a battleship, wargaming. This is a battleship. It fulfills a battleship role. It has high amounts of armor and health pool. It fulfills everything that you would hope for in a battleship. Only it's a high gun velocity battleship. Is this what we should expect from the Soviet battleships? Probably. And I think that's too strong. I think that having a battleship with radar is too potent. The concealment is awful, but radar fixes all those problems. Enemy DD tried to smoke out, and of course I can spot him and keep him spotted for 30 seconds because radar plus extended duration radar. I'm trying to get a fire on this Richelieu. It looks like he's actually on fire from someone else. And I don't know exactly how long he's going to be. Enemy DD retreated. Yes, we got another fire. Nice. Enemy battleships are still over by A point. Need to keep track of them. And as this Richelieu pushes up, it looks like he put the fire out. So this salvo is actually going to be immune. There's not going to be any fires that can stick. Yeah. So it's kind of a waste. 5,000 is cool, but I really am looking for double fire. And when the salvo is fully reloaded and we fire it, it should theoretically, if we get lucky, I have terrible dot chance, just floods and fires never happen, but we get one fire, which is more than enough to me, and of course, an enemy is firing, I believe, from behind an island, and I feel like, no thank you, I would like to retreat. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Fire on the nose, right? But Richelieu, he's gonna burn. I should have swapped to AP. Once 2 fires were set on the target, I should have just focused 100% on delivering this AP to his broadside. It's 305mm, which is really effective against broadside cruisers, battleships, DDs, you name it, it doesn't matter. It's just big enough that it can penetrate through a little bit thicker or better angling, but it's not too big that it overpins constantly. Now, as I was moving into this position, I was taking note of the friendly DD, the gearing. My teammates over comm were communicating that it looks like the gearing wants to point-blank torpedo the Des Moines. That Des Moines has been in that precarious position for a very long time, and I have wanted nothing more than to punish him super hard with a broadside shot. But for the entire duration, he's known I was here because I wanted to try and cause impact to C and B point. Well, friendly gearing should force the Des Moines to maneuver, if for no other reason than to avoid the torpedoes, and if he maneuvers right into my gun systems, well, you can guess what's going to happen if that occurs. Now the gearing, he's inching his way up. Des Moines has commenced fire. Gearing sends out his torpedoes. Just a really bold play by the gearing, honestly. I know it's not going to work out all that well, and Des Moines is actively maneuvering. Is he going to avoid any more torpedoes? It looks he does, but he has actively maneuvered into my gun systems, which for a shot, Citadel, of course. How many potential damage we could have done on a broadside? You know what? I don't really know. Probably 100-0. That would be my guess. Multiple Citadels, and yeah, it would just insane amount of damage potential. Now, friendly smoked me out, which is really nice. These are 305. They bloom out to basically battleship levels of bloom. You're not going to stay concealed all that well. I think it's like 13 or 15 kilometer bloom, maybe even 12 or 11. It's a lot. It's a lot of bloom, and I'm attempting to set fire to the enemy Yamato. Friendly Conqueror is taking HE from the Kaaba, and he's very annoyed by the Kaaba, as is everyone in the game, ever. But I figure if I can burn down Yamato, that's one problem that is not on his table. Friendlies are doing a great job on the other flank. I don't really need to worry about it at all. But I don't really like this angling because if Yamato continues to move forward, he's going to move into a position where my guns can't engage. So I'm going to rotate around the island, and hopefully this will allow me to fire more freely. Also, potentially engage targets that are maybe hidden between B and C. I still feel like the Hairy Wind, aka Herikaze, I feel like that guy is somewhere out there in my radar, completely wasted, of course. But at least we know he's not within 12 kilometers of my ship. So he can't directly impact me right now. I am body spotted, surface detected, and I think that is the DD. He's just outside the 12 kilometer range, so he's within 14.4. He's about in that 2 kilometer range window where I can't actually do anything. And Yamato, yes, Yamato dies. Enemy Kaaba and Friedrich der Grosse. Gonna try and engage the Kaaba. Not the best shot, honestly, but my priority was honestly hoping to angle against the enemies, and I think I want to go after the Friedrich der Grosse. We've seen the HE. We've seen the broadside AP against a cruiser. We've seen engaging enemy destroyers with the gun velocity. It is a Soviet cruiser. Now I want to engage the Friedrich der Grosse. Perfect broadside. He has to present a broadside to me, or he's going to present a broadside to the friendly Conqueror. Because he's presenting a broadside, I'm going to aim all guns top of the hull, just like I always do with the Germans. And we're going to see how much damage we can do. Well, unload HE, doesn't cause a fire, that's fine. Switching to AP. He tries to engage me, doesn't really do that much damage, honestly. Didn't really notice it at all. But now that we have AP loaded, we've got his broadside and 12,000. Not bad, able to maneuver. Guns are almost fully reloaded, able to wiggle back out and get that number 3 gun into position. Once again, top of the hull. See how much AP does? Just look at the grouping. It's so accurate. 19,000 damage. All right. That's pretty fair, I think. Clearly, it's a lot of damage. Don't know how fair it actually is, but we should be able to... Okay, friendlies finish them off. It's clearly very, very potent. High gun velocity. If this is what the Soviet battleships are like, it's too much, Wargaming. This gun velocity is too much on a battleship design. They just do too much damage over range. And, oh, we overpin hard on Kaba. He angles to a perfect broadside, so it doesn't actually stick in the ship. However, teammates were great and finished off the target. I was like, why didn't he send torpedoes? He was probably distracted by the gearing. But, you know, destroyers, you guys are my friends. Anyone who can have good concealment is a friend of a 14.4 kilometer range ship. So we're going to double back and go towards the eastern side of the map, the northeastern side of the map. I think that's where the enemies were last spotted, and there's only 3 left. My feeling on the ship, Wargaming, it's impossible. Either you make it too strong, and it is actually worth the grind, or you make it too weak for a year's worth of grind. They haven't said, and correct me in the comments if they haven't said that it'll have limited participation. And if they did right now, the game would honestly, wouldn't some of you clan guys who have been grinding it out, wouldn't you be incredibly frustrated by that if they said, oh yeah, you can't actually use this in clan or ranked? Well, we didn't know that a year ago, but you'll correct me in the comments. I know you will. That's the only valid solution, I think, for this ship. That or maybe take away radar. Radar really covers up the concealment. It allows you to engage targets that might be a threat to you, and if you understand how to use radar, and that's pretty easy, there's an enemy within my radar range, I should press the button. If you understand how to use radar, it's not a big deal at all. You can deal with it rather effectively. So it's just impossible. It's going to be too strong for the base player base, and it's going to be in clan and ranked 100%. If they made it too weak, well, clan guys would just be up in arms over, I have spent so much time grinding this out. I deserve it. So, yeah, it's incredibly powerful. I'm not going to defend it at all. But a year's worth of grind. A year's worth of grind. It's going to be the hardest ship to obtain. So, this is in black. I don't know anyone who would choose the black over other DDs, just because the torpedo systems are just sluggish. There's not one trait of this that stands out as being, oh yeah, that's a huge downside. And then finally, the coup de grace, engaging a DD at extended range. This is something that only Soviet cruisers can really do effectively. And first salvo, 4 shells make contact. Let's see if we can do that again. And if we can, there's always going to be a place for this ship. You always need long-range DD engagement. And once again, fire the shells, incredible grouping, enemy DD taken out. It's just the Moskva on steroids in the current meta. It gives up some of the utility to be more effective, and that's scary. Honestly, Wargaming, I don't know what you're going to do to fix it. But as it stands, way too accurate. AP's insane. HE, fire chance is pretty good. Great gun velocity. It has it all. It has it all. Radar. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time.